Okay, how powerful are banned modern cards in 2025? We're going to move on to Simian Spirit Guide here. It's a 3-mana 2/2 Ape Spirit. None of that really matters. Exile Simian Spirit Guide from your hand and add a red to your mana pool. It's basically a Lotus Petal for a format that's supposed to be a turn, I guess, a turn 4 format. It's supposed to go beyond turn 3, except the only purpose of Simian Spirit Guide is to end the game or be effectively winning the game by turn 2, turn 3. And the card, I don't know what to say about this card anymore. I clearly thought it was completely busted and broken, but Modern's moving in a different direction. Turn 2 decks, or effectively turn 2 decks, like what's called Neo Brand, are sort of normalized. Storm can actually win not too often on turn 2. It requires like turn 2 Ritual, play a Ral or Ruby, and then start storming off, but it's possible. And they just unbanned Mox Opal, which at the time of the unbanning created a lot of turn 2 wins, but then that's why they banned Underworld Breach. And now all we're left is now anyway, we have less turn 2 kills at this point. Yeah, Monkey. This was it? I think it was banned by the time Cascade was incredibly popular. Okay, it was here. Stormy Cat says, unban this to bring back Mono Red Prison. Would it be any good right now? Like, what are you going to do? Put Blood Moon in it? The format doesn't even care about Blood Moon all that much. There's like some Blood Moons in Boros Energy. That's about it. For the most part, the format is leaned heavily to mono-color decks, or 2-color decks. There's not that many 3-color or more decks. And even the Eldrazi ramp decks, I mean, you would slow them down a little bit, but they got their own ramp with like Sowing Mycospawn and just the ramp cards in general, like the not amulets. What do you call those? Signets? They're not signets though, but it's basically signets. Steve Cooper loves monkeys. Monkey. Ryan says, next time you should rate the power level of unbanned modern cards. What do you mean, like on a tier list? They'd all be pretty big. They'd all be pretty high up there. Great question, says Bryce. What deck would be playing this in Modern? Possibly Cascade, because you could Cascade on turn 2. So instead, I don't think Living End could take advantage of that very well because it'd be too early. But think of the Rhinos deck. The Rhinos deck could do that very early and very comfortably. So they just go like turn 1, I don't know, try land. Turn 2, play a Exile Simian Spirit Guide, and then play Shardless Agent, and they'd be off to the races. How do you feel about Shardless Agent and 2 4/4 Trampling Rhinos on turn 2 on the play? It's very uncomfortable. They do that in Legacy, by the way. Maybe not anymore. I think the deck is very low in the meta, but that such a deck does exist, and it's super fast. If you don't counter that stupid Cascade spell, I mean, you're just going to get completely wrecked. Really, but fortunately, at least in Legacy, you do have Force of Will. Jess says, this is just a shite Lotus Petal that can't be countered. That makes it better, though. So, like, at least against Lotus Petal, you can just throw out the old Chalice on 0, and then all those 0-mana cards, they're getting countered. Same thing with Mox Opal. You could argue that actually this is even stronger. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's stronger than Mox Opal. You could argue it's stronger than Chrome Mox. Definitely stronger than Lotus Petal. Because, I mean, in the end, you could, if you top deck a Lotus Petal, that's worthless. You top deck Simian Spirit Guide. Time for Simian Spirit Guide beatdowns. Beat them down good with the Simian Spirit Guide. Bryce is like, leave it. We're not going to bring it back. Love everyone's commentary and opinions. The Ghost of Thomas Jenkins. If it wasn't exile from hand, it'd be okay. You'd be okay with this? You mean if it wasn't? You mean you wanted to go to the graveyard? Or were you said, like, are you just saying, like, if it wasn't for the entire ability, then sure, it could be fine. It's useless. A 3-mana 2/2 is garbage. Steve Cooper says, I wonder if anyone has ever hard cast this to actually use it as a creature. Yes, actually many times. I've been in the red zone versus a Simian Spirit Guide countless times, even versus combo decks. It usually is used as a blocker, because usually this is played in combo-esque decks. So when things aren't going great, you just gotta throw out that Simian Spirit Guide. Ooh, ah. Maybe not. The age-old questions: 100 humans versus one gorilla. Let me tell you, in Magic the Gathering, it doesn't take that much to take down one gorilla. It really doesn't. Unless there's a very big difference between a gorilla and an ape. Maybe apes are different in some capacity. Yeah, but anyway, in Magic, this thing doesn't last very long. I'm inclined to think that this is still too strong. But actually, I really believe that the power level of Modern has reached a point where maybe it's not. Maybe it's really not that big of a deal anymore. I would really like to see the power level of Modern to be chopped down a little bit, but with how fast and how out of control things get right from the get-go, I actually don't think Simian Spirit Guide is. They unbanned Mox Opal. I don't know why this thing is banned. You might as well take all this crap off, and then we just have a free-for-all. I think it is. It will obviously be very strong. I don't know if it's too powerful for Modern anymore. For the record, I don't want it unbanned. But this show isn't about if the card is worth being unbanned or not. That we're just trying to gauge if the card is powerful, or like how powerful it is compared to what Modern is right now. So the Ghost of Thomas Jenkins says, exile from graveyard at least requires you to do something to get the mana besides drawing it. Oh, I see. You want to exile it from some other zone. Well, at that point, it's fine to just have it exile from play, right? But yeah, you're actually right. If it was exile from play, from graveyard, then it would probably not even be that big of a deal. I mean, the card is only a card because you can exile it from your hand. Chuck Norris says, it gets worse the more turns that go by. Not necessarily, but I mean, you're not wrong for the most part. You could like for example in Legacy, it's not unusual for, if they're not going to go for it on turn 2, like they're not going to go for a Cascader, they might wait so that they can play the Cascader with a mana up, so that they can play Flusterstorm against any interaction that you. Oh, sorry, not Flusterstorm. It would have to be something like Mystical Dispute to counteract any interaction that you have. So it's not completely unusual that they'll take their time so that they can beat some interaction. But yeah, usually it just gets worse the more time that goes by. The whole point of it is to speed things up, not slow it down. All right, I think a Simian Spirit Guide is strong, but not too strong for today's Modern metagame, which is it's just crazy today. Skull Clamp. That's what this art is goofy as hell. It's such a goofy art. Okay, where's a regular art? Is that the OG? More or less. Can't remember what the OG... No, the OG art looks different. Where's the OG art? There we go. That's the OG art. I don't even know what's going on in the art, but I like it. It looks really futuristic, and it looks cool. By the way, shout out to Little Deadfly, who gave a donation. Thanks so much, Little Deadfly. Appreciate the support. Bring back Elvish Spirit Guide. You want Elvis back? Well, anyway, by the way, Elvish Spirit Guide, it's not legal in Modern, so we don't even have to talk about that. We just have to talk about the Red Brother, the Simian Spirit Guide, Harambe. Poor Harambe. R.I.P. Harambe. All right, CEDH staple, Skull Clamp. 1 mana artifact, it's an equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/-1. When equipped creature is put into the graveyard, draw 2 cards. It's banned. It's actually banned in Modern and Legacy, and it's been banned for so long. I don't even know if we know if it's any good anymore. I'm serious. Like, is this thing gonna still be fun? I mean, it's probably still good. Probably. You have to play a deck with a bunch of 1 toughness creatures. I guess you can play, like, you know, Orcish Bowmasters. But then, like, what if you're in the Orcish Bowmasters mirror? Then, like, the opponent's Bowmasters will get triggered, and it'll kill your Bowmasters before you can trigger it some more. And then if the Orc army grows too much, then what? You can't even equip it with the Skull Clamp. Or I guess you could go in easily. Nah, this probably is still too strong. Stormy says, I'm sure this change is fine. Wizards of the Coast the night before releasing this. Well, you know, what was it? I can't remember. They changed the plus. It used to be +1/+1. And they switched it a little bit to +1/-1. And then all hell broke loose. It was just, it became danger overnight. What about in a 1-drop cat deck? Yeah, I mean, maybe it's super powerful. Of course, you can find this with Urza Saga now. Urza Saga also got buffed because you can't even get rid of the stupid thing with Blood Moon effects. Of course, yeah, if you played it in, say, Boros Energy, you could, like, pick off your Ragavan, especially if you have a second Ragavan in your hand. The cat deals damage, makes a cat token. Skull Clamp it up. Probably this is too strong, but I don't know, did they even use this in Vintage? I want to say no, but maybe. Like, I don't, at the same time, in Vintage, you know, you can draw your entire deck in one turn. This is like the least of brokenness in that format. It's completely legal in Vintage. Play with 4 copies at will. No problem. It's not a problem in Commander, is it? It's just another card, like every other card out there. Juha says Skull Clamp is probably too good because of Cloud drawing 4 with it. Cloud? Oh, yeah. Well, first off, we don't know if Cloud from Final Fantasy is any good. Currently, I believe Cloud sees no play, nothing, 0, zip, nada. But I do hear the problem. So Cloud goes find Skull Clamp, and then you sacrifice Cloud. But that might be a big tempo it might be backbreaking on tempo in Modern. You gotta be careful. Like, you can't dirtle around too much in Modern. You're just gonna be dead by turn 4, turn 5. Things can get wildly out of control, and you get a lot of pressure is put on you, and sacrificing your creature in play and also spending mana to do that, to draw cards, might actually, it could be the end of you. It could be just the end of you. It's not used in Vintage? I believe it. Just as Nikachu once won a tournament high on shrooms. That is not true. That never happened. I know, in Dual Commander, it is used in Modo. Well, in Dual Commander, you have access to less cards. I actually don't know how the speed of the format. I don't know how powerful or how quickly you can die in that format. If it's like, the more grindy a format is, the way more powerful Skull Clamp is, because you just go way over the top of your opponent in cards. But I should say, Modern is the type of format now that has this sort of momentum, and you have to match the momentum. And then if you are falling behind in momentum, your opponent's momentum just smashes you. And the only way you can get back if you're behind is to, like, have this sort of momentum that just comes way over the top. And I just don't see how killing your creature in play and drawing 2 cards is that. I'm certain there's going to be certain decks that are just going to get grinded out real easily. Like I said, actually, maybe Affinity would just play this the best. Urza Saga can find it. There's a lot of dinky little things in Affinity. They have extra mana available thanks to Mox Opal. You equip Memnite, for example. Memnite probably isn't the only thing that you can equip with Skull Clamp and start drawing, like, tons of cards. And as you draw cards, you play Thought Monitor, you draw more cards. So it's probably a little bit more out of control. There's probably a deck for this thing. Joe says, you can die quickly in Dual Commander, but then you just change your commander to Thalia, Garden of Threadman for games 2 and 3. You can do that? You can change your commander mid-game? That sounds like cheating. It's a nice rule in the format. That's crazy. Okay, it's popular in Commander. Being able to fetch any equipment is good in a 1 out of 100 card deck. Usually fetch synergies with whatever you have out. Oh, I have no doubt about it. I believe it. I just don't know what the momentum is like in Dual Commander. Like, are the games long? What's the average? By what turn does the games finish? Because in Modern, it's like 3 to 4, sometimes turn 2. That's right. We've gone that far. We have turn 2 decks. We have more than one turn 2 deck. The odds of the turn 2 happening, not great. Honestly, not great. Well, one deck, not great. The other one, it's not too bad. Okay, what are we going to say about Skull Clamp? I guess we're just going to say it's too powerful, even in 2025. Either you throw it in the right Urza Saga deck, or you throw it in, like, even Boros Energy. Probably they're going to make too much use out of it, and they'll squash the hell out of you. Not to mention, it sticks on the battlefield forever. For forever and ever. Okay, next card. We're going to look at Summer Bloom. Like, why? Why is this still banned? Would it really even matter? Oh, I think it's the... Okay, so it's supposed to prevent turn 2 kills. I guess that's enough to say that it shouldn't be unbanned. It's a 2-mana sorcery. You can play up to 3 additional lands this turn. So it's supposed to disrupt turn 1 Amulet of Vigor. Like, this is its purpose. This is its sole purpose. Someone plays turn 1 Amulet of Vigor. Then they play Waterlogged Grove. No, not what's it called? Sorry, Simic Growth Chamber. Simic Growth Chamber. Got my Simic cards mixed up. And they're not even Simic, they're colorless. So you play Simic Growth Chamber. Amulet of Vigor says this thing comes, well, when it comes into play, it comes, you can untap it. So you tap it for 2 mana. Play Summer Bloom. Now you bounce Simic Growth Chamber back to your hand. Then you replay it 3 times. And then by doing that, adding 6 mana, you play Primeval Titan and basically win the game on turn 2. That's the whole point. Yeah, playing 3 bounce lands in Amulet Titan. We are very close. Well, here's the deal. Like, they have a lot of turn 3 wins with this deck. Because they go turn 1 Urza Saga, they go Amulet of Vigor or not, and then by turn 3, they go get an Amulet of Vigor, and very often just go for it, whatever it is. So it's a super consistent turn 3 deck. This would just make it turn 2. But it would make it more Glass Cannon, though. I don't know if that would make it better. But I am in the camp that, like, well, it's a turn 2 kill, so that's probably not good. Playing 3 lands in Amulet. Yeah, with not 3 bounce lands, you just need 1. Because Simic Growth Chamber says when it enters the battlefield tapped, which is a lie, because we'll untap it with the Amulet. And when it enters, return a land you control to its owner's hand, but you return the Simic Growth Chamber. So you can return itself back to your hand. So, but add mana first. So enters the battlefield, untap it, tap it for mana, return it back to your hand, then replay it as your 3rd land for your 3 lands. Play it, untap it, tap it for mana, return, play it, untap it, tap it for mana, return, and so on. So that's how this works. Yeah, I think I without discussing this too far, this is just another turn, like actual turn 2 kill. Simian Spirit Guide is a like virtual turn 2, put a lot of power on the battlefield, have a really big advantage. Someone could just die with Summer Bloom in play. I mean, you don't even have to put Primeval Titan. One of the classic combos where it was to put Hive Mind in play and then play a Pact. So that also worked as well. Dump your lands onto the field is fun. Yeah, well, sort of, yes. Pabno says, mana positive if you have enough lands in hand. No, well, I mean, that's the deal. Like, you don't need enough lands. You just need 1. You only need 1. That was the consistency of this deck. That's why it was so sick. Toilet Duck says, fun card combos. Summer Bloom, Tifa Lockhart, and Traveling Chocobo. Use all the extra land drops. I don't know what the Traveling Chocobo does. I know what Tifa does, though. So you want to buff up your Tifa? Or what? Give her... Yeah, you buff her up. She's got... I can't remember if she has Double Strike or not. Way too easy to abuse. Well, this is the thing. Only 1 deck can abuse this card. That's it. Only 1. There can only be 1 deck. And then that's Amulet Titan. I can't think of another deck that would play this. It would just be weird. That maybe an Eldrazi deck could play this. Perhaps. Somehow. Oh, does Tifa have Trample as well? Yeah, they got to give her Trample. They can't let people just chump block her. That'd make things too easy. With Traveling Chocobo, you get extra landfall triggers from the land drops. Oh no! Oh no! Yeah, that'll work plenty. Stormy Cat, Amulet Titan has led to the banning of more cards than any other deck. You could be right. You could be right. Like, what do we even have on this thing? Okay, let's see. Amped Wrapper, no. Ancient Den, no. Astrolabe, no. Pod, no. Shoal, no. Bridge from Below, no. Chromox, no. Yeah, there's actually a lot of cards that had no business. Didn't do anything. Field of the Dead, yes. Not Grief. Although I have played against Grief in Amulet. It's happened at least once. Let's see, there was Mycosynth Lattice. There was... I don't think there was Nadu. I don't think there was Oko. There might have, though. Once Upon a Time. There was... What else? There's a few others. Not defining top. Summer Bloom, One Ring, which we'll get to eventually. Can't remember if Up the Beanstalk was in there. Can't remember if Uro was in there either. Like, people always, whenever someone had like a busted deck, people tried anything. They enjoyed just trying like broken cards in Amulet because it was like relatively free. Well, give me a second. My cat is destroying things. Just try to get it. My kitty. Hey, come. Be part of my show. Be part of my show. I will let you out. You'll be part of my show, though. You have to be for a second. Just be part of my show for a second. It's Chubby Meatball. I brought Chubby Meatball. Oh, Chubby Meatball. Okay. Just a little while. Just be here for a second, Chubby Meatball. You can go out. I open the balcony door, so she has the strong incentive to get away from me. She wants to escape. Damn! No, don't go. Let's talk about Summer Bloom. Look. It's like looking outside on the balcony. It's green, and there's grass. There's probably some animals on there. Ugh. She's trying too hard. She's motivated. She's very, very motivated. Okay, Summer Bloom. Too strong. Turn 2 kills. We're gonna stop with the turn 2 kills. I don't like them. Holy moly. The wounds are too fresh for this one. The wounds. Can everyone still feel it? Wow, this is only banned in Modern? You gotta be kidding me. This is only banned in Modern. I heard some people in Legacy are a bit sick of this card. 4 mana indestructible, enter the battlefield, you gain protection from everything. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life for each burn counter on it, and tap, put a burn counter on this thing, and draw a card equal the number of burn counters on the One Ring. Just absolutely... This was a very, very, very badly designed card. It didn't take any more than 1 day to realize that this was a stupid idea. This was a fantastic example of cards just not being play tested, period. They just did not play test, or like they might have play tested it like for a few games, like, oh yeah, this is great, and then found out that this card is just miserable in the competitive formats. With the biggest clause, it could have been perfect. It could have been perfect if you got the burden counters. This would have been the perfect card, because then you could have never reset this thing. The problem is in Commander, like whatever, you have one ring, you have to deal with it yourself. But if you are playing in Modern or Legacy, you can just play another One Ring and then Legend rule the crap out of the last one. Or maybe we should have changed the Legend rule. We go back to one of the older Legend rules where you can't play a legendary card when one is already in play. Should have done that. Okay, what are our opinions here? Soma says this card should never have been printed. Stormy says this is Skull Clamp level of design mistake. Well, they let us play with it for over a year. Yeah, I think it was legal for over a year because we banned it. It came out in Lord of the Rings. Yeah, it existed for 1.5 years. Fascinating. Jess says, why did the One Ring make Frodo invisible but not Sauron? Good question. I always had that question. Now, I'm not a Lord of the Rings authority, but I heard it has something to do with your like inner aura, and hobbits are like sneaky. Oh no, that can't be it. Because the humans also disappeared. You know what? I just don't know the answer. Maybe humans are sneaky too. It's supposed to like magnify your inner powers. Cameron's like, I like it. I like the One Ring. I like the One Ring in the singleton formats. I have no problem with this thing in Commander. Okay, the irony is all over the place. Ironically, multiple One Rings is what makes it good. Yeah, the One Ring. One. The first one is the real one. Everything else is a Chinese counterfeit. Chuck Norris is like, it's an all-star in Commander with just 1 copy. It's super annoying. Oh, well, you can still just win the game with Thassa's Oracle, right? It's sort of like Uro in that they just let it run around for way too long. You know, I mean, I don't want to defend this card too much, but earlier on, there weren't that many decks playing the One Ring. I mean, obviously, it was a pretty general card that could go into anything. And it was after, I think, about a year that, like, this thing was just jammed in everything. And then like once Modern Horizons 3 hit, then it was really jammed in everything. I saw playing Nadu for crying out loud. Oh, it was really crazy. Like it over time, people just came to realize, oh yeah, you know what? Any random deck should probably play this. The downside is just the upside is, you know, you win the game, and you most definitely aren't going to lose by next turn. But the downside being not very much. I mean, it could be just considered a 4-mana Time Walk. Probably I should have play tested it more in Merfolk. Probably. Sauron was a demigod. He just more powerful. He loves being more powerful. The Ghost of Thomas Jenkins says, this is a card that desperately needed cumulative upkeep to even be fair. Well, I mean, it did with your life total. But you know what? I would actually argue that probably wouldn't have made a difference. I'll tell you why. Because it would still be 4 mana, draw 3 cards. With cumulative upkeep on the stack, you could tap it again, draw 2 more cards. So it's basically 4 mana, draw 3 cards, get protection from everything until next turn. So that would have been broken still. No, you needed to get the burden counters. And then if you legend ruled the One Ring, well, you still got the burden. Like, the flavor-wise, it was just stupid. It made no sense. Like, did they think people were going to donate this card to win the game? Like, that's dumb. Chuck Norris says, Hasbro had to get the bag before they banned it. You know, I would really like to think that is not a decision that they should be making. But, I mean, I guess it just is. It just is. Not to mention, like, there's always... Did they make a secret lair out of this? No, they made some promos. I think one problem is that they do have some promos in the works while it's being legal, and they're like, well, we don't want to screw over the promo, even though like there's still Commander, for crying out loud. Just sell it to the Commander players. Why do we have to focus so much on Modern? Why do we have to burn the goodwill of Modern to monetize Commander players? Like, we are outnumbered like 20-1. How does our bottom line matter all that much? Like, we more than compensate for the fact that we don't even need 4 copies of the card. Commander players, they just deal with... Thank you, Commander players. But I wish they would make more decisions based on Commander players than Modern players. But I guess it sucks if there's like rumors, oh, they banned the One Ring. Oh, what format? I don't even know what the format is. Well, I guess I shouldn't buy a Lord of the Rings booster box. That's probably how they're looking at it. Just the optics look bad that they banned the key chase cards. Protection from everything is pushed only for 1 turn. But yeah, I agree. And also, it was just bad gameplay. Like, oh, play the One Ring, get protection from everything, draw a card, draw more cards next turn, lose 1 life, and then find another One Ring, play it. Find another One Ring, play it. I've been in so many games where my opponent chained 3 One Rings over and over and over again. It's just infuriating. I don't know if anyone played the full 4 versus me, though. Probably, and I just don't remember. Plenty of 3 in a row, though. There can only be 1 deck for flavor reasons. What's that deck? Designing for a Commander has broken more things than a bull in a china shop. It's not clear to me that they made this thing strictly for Commander. I actually don't think they made this thing for Commander, because according to Aspiring Spike, the original design for the One Ring sucked. Like, it was unplayable. It was just garbage. It was just complete nonsense. It was like 5 mana, and it was like worthless. And they made it competitive, but they made it too competitive, and now it can never come back. Did we do Violent Outbursts? We're not there yet, but we're on our way. But first, we got to thank our sponsor today, FusionGamingOnline.com, my favorite place to buy my Magic the Gathering cards. And keep a lookout if they ever unban anything for Modern. You know where to get them from. Final Fantasy, actually, FusionGamingOnline.com. You might even want to buy them in advance, just in case. You got to get ahead of the line, because once that's unbanned, you know, people will just scour the internet for everything, and you might lose your chance. Also, Final Fantasy cards. Speaking of like universes beyond sets, I don't think Final Fantasy has made a big deal in Modern. But if there's anything you like, go get it. And don't forget to use coupon code Nikachu at checkout for 5% off all your purchases. And we're also going to thank Mana Traders, the premier place to rent Magic cards online. For Magic Online, to play Modern, Pioneer, Standard, whether cards get banned or unbanned, it doesn't matter because you're renting the cards anyway. You can support the channel using my Mana Traders link in the description below, or save 40% cash back on your 3rd month subscription using coupon code Nikachu_OWS. And back to broken Modern cards. Okay, this card is still too powerful for 2025. I don't know what it's going to take to get it out, but we're not moving in that direction. I can just tell you that much. Tybalt's Trickery. This is a bit of a meme card. 2-mana instant, counter target spell. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Its controller mills that many cards and exiles cards from the top of the library until they exile a non-land card with different name than that spell. They may cast that card without paying its mana cost. Then they put the exiled card on the bottom of their library in a random order. This is... honestly, the card's technically bad. I think the card is just... It's not good. Let me tell you, I played the Tybalt's Trickery deck. I played a worse version where it was like 94 lands. Was it 94 lands? It was 90. Sorry, 90. Maybe it was like 51 lands, 4 Tybalt's Trickery, 4 Cascade spells, and an Emrakul, something like that. This card was just a little too annoying. It's max annoying. That's what it is. When you see the Tybalt's Trickery deck, you're not very happy to see it. It's vulnerable. It's not like there's so many cards that probably like kill this deck, right? It's probably... So the deal is you play a Cascade spell. This is how it works. You play a Cascade spell. Cascade spell finds Tybalt's Trickery. Tybalt's Trickery counters the Cascade spell, and then you go find an Emrakul. That's the idea. Or some big other big bomb that you could put into play. It wasn't the only deck. At least the deck was flavorfully for its name. Very tricksy. Aren't there card combos where you use this on yourself to exile your whole deck or something? No. No, there's no self-exile thing. There are other cards that do that. You might be thinking of Charbelcher. Draco says, I find it funny that Tybalt's Trickery actually gets worse with cards like Water Crystal. I don't know what this is. 4-mana legendary artifact. Blue spells you cast are 1 less to cast. If an opponent would mill 1 or more cards, they mill that many cards plus 4 instead. And then, so hold on, we're milling. Are we mill? Oh yeah, its controller mills that many cards. Can we mill ourselves out or something? 4-mana tap. Each opponent mills cards equal to the number of cards in their hand. Weird card. Stormy says, whenever I played against this, it was a turn 2 Ornithopter, counter with Trickery, get Eldrazi. You must be talking about Standard. Or maybe it was Historic? I don't remember. That was never a thing in Modern. That's like... that's too crappy of a combo in Modern. We can do better. No, it was just a Cascade spell. Gilliam says, I love that we can bring up Deathrite Shaman in, like, every show. Well, you're not going to Tybalt's Trickery Deathrite Shaman. Okay, I will say this card is not powerful for 2025. It never was. That's not to say that it shouldn't be banned. The card is worthless. I think it's too... Like, even with... I'm pretty sure Vexing Bauble... You can play the card without paying its mana cost. I think Vexing Bauble, like, counters a huge chunk of these cards. Although I don't think it counters... Won't counter Emrakul, because that will be uncounterable. But there's a lot of... All the other win conditions would get countered by Vexing Bauble. Hey there, Magnum Opus. Welcome. Happy Friday. There's a Legacy deck that's similar to this. Oh my god. They put this in Legacy. Someone's tried. Will the final part of the banned Modern Card stream series be a tier list of all the cards? Oh, we should do that. Great idea, Toilet Duck. Okay, this card... It's annoying. It should stay banned. The card's weak, though. It was never good. It would have been... If it was legal, it would have been the easiest default combo deck to play in Modern. It would just be like, I can't remember. Did it have Simian Spirit Guide? It was around. I think it got banned at the same time. Maybe it had Simian Spirit Guide, so you could go for this on turn 2. No, maybe it didn't. No, because Tybalt's Trickery would find the Simian Spirit Guide. Anyway, I don't remember. Okay, what's next? Tybalt's Trickery, Treasure Cruise. Holy moly! This card is this card went on for a cruise, all right. And on that cruise, it got banned in Modern, it got banned in Legacy, it got restricted in Vintage, it got banned in Pauper. This thing's safe nowhere. Well, you can play it in Historic. That's crazy. You can still play it in Pioneer. Some people debate if it should be legal there. Stormy says cheats on mana. It's broken. What's funny is it's 8 mana. Like, you have to exile 7 cards from your graveyard. Like, isn't that fair? Like, if you even exile 5 cards, pay 3, like, it's not, that's like sort of fairish for the most part. It's like, because you probably soak up your entire turn if you do that. Draco says, keep it banned, please. Treasure Delve is busted as hell. Yeah, still legal in Pioneer if anyone wants to relive the glory of Ancestral Recall. Now, the real question is, what if they made it 10 mana? Would it still see play? I find that when I play a game of Modern, that you have just enough cards. Oh, you have just enough cards between the fetching and the cantrips and the kill spells. You have just enough cards to Treasure Cruise. Maybe you would have more. Maybe now with the Surveil lands, it probably wouldn't even make a difference. We probably have to put it to 12. Probably easier than ever to play this stupid card. Stormy says, I've been able to get to 7 cards in a grave on turn 2 since Type 2 was a thing, not a huge ask. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, it was very easy to pull off in Standard too. But it was a lot more fair in Standard because they didn't your follow-up wasn't nearly as powerful. On a cruise to the depths of the ban list? Mayfly can't even make others players draw. What a terrible Ancestral Recall. Yeah, only one. Well, in that case, that means no one can misdirect the card, so it can only target you. That would actually be a disadvantage, massive disadvantage. Frog pitches all your useless cards, then draws 3 new ones. Wow, that would. You're right. Basically, Psychic Frog gets boosted big time by Treasure Cruise gets boosted big time by Psychic Frog. This is not much of a debate. Way too strong for in 2025. Arguably is only going to get stronger as time goes on. It's not like card advantage is going to get less valuable. I know they're trying with Orcish Bowmaster. Bowmasters doesn't do anything about card draw. Like, it doesn't even care. It doesn't care. The only thing Bowmasters does is beat up on 1x, like the 1 toughness creature decks. Always. Strictly worse Ancestral Recall. Why would you play this? Well, because it's draw 3. So Draco is like, anyone curious? Treasure Cruise, Mesmeric Orb, and literally any way to revive, reanimate, just grab anything from your deck. Great idea. Okay, Treasure Cruise. Too strong for 2025. Okay, Tree of Tales. So we basically said that all the artifact lands are perfectly fine in Modern. I don't see why this would be OP or anything. I'm willing to go to the next card. Does anyone have a case that this card would be broken? Honestly, I don't even think Affinity would play this. The most powerful artifact lands in Affinity are blue and red for Galvanic Discharge and for all the blue card draw spells. Or not Discharge, Galvanic Blast. Weaker than a basic land. I agree. Okay, sold. Tree of Tail. I heard one person raise their hand. Card is not broken whatsoever. This next card is hotly debated. Hotly debated. Umezawa's Jite. 2 mana equipment. When equipped creature deals combat damage, put 2 charge counters on Umezawa's Jite. Remove a charge counter from Umezawa's Jite. Choose one. The creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. Or the creature gets -1. Or target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. Or you can gain 2 life. And then we can equip for 2. Is this too good for Modern? And I would like to remind everyone, this card doesn't see play anymore in Legacy. It doesn't even play in Commander. Does anyone want to play this in Commander? Lost Jite is legal, so this can be too. You know what? I don't know what the hype was for Lost Jite. I thought this was trash from day one. Like, you know, I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe, like, you can freely find this with Urza Saga, but like untapping lands, target creature can't be blocked this turn, and putting a counter on the equipped creature, awful. Just crap. Umezawa's Jite is definitely a better payoff, but it's clunky as hell. You gotta pay 2 mana. Then you gotta pay 2 mana to equip it to a creature. Then you gotta attack and hope that it doesn't die. Like, yeah, I understand. You block it still gets the counters, but we live in a world where it's really hard for anything to stick to the table. Just Solitude, exile the creature. We still have infinite removal. We have infinite removal at like 1 mana. It's such a it's such a back-breaking tempo play. If you play this for 2 mana, try to equip for 2 mana, and then the creature dies. Really bad. Most thought it was bad on day 1, from what I heard. Oh, you mean like when it actually got printed? Well, they were wrong. They were super wrong. Quidizzle says, if land and attack, the opponent already losing, this is a win more card. You could argue that. You could argue that. It's probably super win more at this point. I think GT would see play, but it wouldn't be broken. Well, like, what deck would play this? Burn isn't even that popular of a deck. I can totally see this being brought in versus a burn deck, but that's about it. Like, a lot of the creatures are enormous. This -1/-1 thing doesn't do anything. What are you gonna kill off in this format? A Psychic Frog, a Murktide, an Oculus, an Eldrazi? No, like, all the creatures are like gigantic chunkers. They've been working out every single day. They've been pushing that iron, or pumping that iron. Okay, the Lost GT is a fair version of it, in my opinion. No, it's so fair it's unplayable. It's simply too easy to snowball. Even with the level of removal, it will always get counters on it. No, that's not true. Then it's just proliferate shenanigans. Well, no one uses... Okay, that's great. I understand. This is probably a commander perspective. No one proliferates in Modern. Okay, hold on. Whoa. Sorry, not nobody. Yawgmoth has the ability... Yawgmoth technically has the ability to proliferate, but I don't think this card would see play in Yawgmoth. And B, when they proliferate, that's pretty win more at that point. They don't need to proliferate to win the game. I mean, Oscillate Pride and a Johnny. Oh, you'd have to use 2 remove. Like, I actually think it's very. I would doubt. Are you trying to say, like, this is what it's picking off, or this is what's going to play it? I would say that Boros Energy is not one of the decks that would benefit from beating Umezawa's GT, because they have a lot of removal. And, like, between the removal for killing creatures in front of it, and also just removal for Umezawa's GT in general. Like, you could cast this, which is taking time, and then they go Static Prison and exile the GT if they really need to. Did I hear about the new commander format? Nope. I have no idea what it is. Do we need more formats already? I think there's more formats than Wizards of the Coast can even keep track of. I think it's ridiculous. Now that damage isn't on the stack anymore, it's bad. Oh, was damage still on the stack back then? It's possible. It was still okay. It was still good in Legacy for a very long time, even when damage on the stack was removed. But it's just not. It's not in the same league anymore. With all the new FF equipment stuff, GT would be nice. Okay, Stola Deck has a funny story. Umezawa's GT recently got reprinted as Cloud's Buster Sword. Oh, is it like a Godzilla card? Oh yeah, you're right. This is the best art for Umezawa's GT then. This is a sick art. It's nice. I like it. GT still on the banned list should be a crime. I actually think that this card is worthless. Now, I understand the sentiment, like, oh, let's save the creature decks. Look, I play a creature deck competitively. Like, this card doesn't matter. Like, I'm already oppressed. There's the Lava Dart, Orcish Bowmasters. Orcish Bowmasters being the #1 card. Ren and 6. And then if those cards somehow got banned, then they would go to like Plague Engineer and so on. This is the least of my worries. I do not think anyone would play this card. I'm serious. No one would play this card. Maybe Affinity. Maybe that's the only one. And honestly, if they're really fast and out ahead, like, this card doesn't matter. I lose to Affinity all the time too. Pavno says, "Oh yeah, they printed all kinds of banned in the FF bonus sheets." Maybe that is a sign that they're going to unban them. How many banned cards that got printed? GTA is the new Splinter Twin. Yes. This card is so much worse than Splinter Twin. This card can't even win the game when it comes into play. Like, yeah, that's a really good point. Like, Splinter Twin cannot survive even with being a 2-card combo. What do you think? Like, what do you think this thing's gonna do? It's like a slower 2-card combo, a significantly slower 2-card combo. It would do nothing. Anyone remember the article where Kai Bud and the other top pros said GTA was a terrible card at Betrayer's pre-release? No, I wasn't there. I wasn't playing at that time. I took a very long break before, slightly before the Kamigawa block came out, actually. We got Sniper Rambo says, but you tutor for it with Stoneforge and Cloud. You can tutor for all sorts of much better equipment right now, and they're unplayable. Just strictly unplayable. Turn 2 Stormforge Mystic. Okay, kill it. Then what? You got no creature in play. You're like very far from Umezawa's GTA doing anything. Super, very worthless card on the ban list. Can you remove 2 charge counters and ping a 2 toughness guy? Yes, you can do that, actually. It's correct. You can do this. Oh, the sniper was being... Oh, I didn't see the... It was cut off at the end. You got the sarcasm. /sarcasm. You're one of us. Okay, this is one... Underworld Breach. 2 mana enchantment. Each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to the card's mana cost plus exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. At the beginning of the end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. No one will believe me. No one will believe me. I think this card is super fair and modern. There is nothing wrong with this card. Probably half the room is gonna leave. Everyone's gonna dislike the video. This card was legal for 4 years in Modern. For 4 years. And the only reason that it went OP ballistic crazy is because they unbanned Mox Opal. It's like, if I had a graph about its power level, yeah, it was like tier 3, tier 3, tier 3, and the moment they unbanned Mox Opal, tier 0. That moment. And everyone is like, well, it was going to get banned eventually anyway. It was legal for 4 years. Like, the thing is, in Modern, it was way too clunky. It was too easy to interact with. And they didn't have all the enablers. So there was 2 problems. Like, I understand, it's banned in other formats. It's banned in Pioneer because there's just no answer to this thing, the combo decks they make with this card. It's banned in Legacy because actually there's too many answers for the Underworld Breach deck. But in Modern, there weren't that many. Like, the Underworld Breach deck couldn't defend itself. Can I ask why it's not a sorcery? Because it makes it easier to interact with. So you play it as an enchantment, you try to cast a card, and in response, you can blow up the Underworld Breach. It actually made it weaker in some bizarre way. Okay, now what does everyone else think? Everyone's gonna think I'm an idiot. So we have snipers like, nope. Maybe it's nerfed since damage on the sack was removed. Okay, Breach can stay dead, thanks. Send it directly back to hell. Can't believe it lasted so long. Because it wasn't that good. It just wasn't that good. Those decks were not OP. And I can't believe, like, everyone in Modern can't remember that. They just have this burning memory when it was tier 0 for like 2 weeks. Or not 2 weeks, maybe it was a month and a half. Can't believe it lasted so long. No Breach, evil card, needs a hard look in CDH, probably. No bias at all. Well, I don't play the card. So, you know, why am I defending a Yawgmoth's Will? Stormy says, Breach itself is a fair card. There's just too many ways to break it. It has to be fun, though. Well, okay, I will argue. I will not say combo. It's only fun for the combo players. It's not very fun for the person that's not combo. But there's so many ways to interact with it. Destroy the enchantment. Exile the graveyard. Counter the underworld breach. Counter the... Oh, no, sorry. There's no ETB to this thing. What else can you do? Counter their combo card. Ah, yes, the red Yawgmoth's will, says Benjamin. Guadizzle says, can I ask why this is not a sorcery? Well, anyway, you have to ask Wizards of the Coast, I guess. Badly designed, keep it banned. I'd say keep banned, unfun play patterns. It's fine, in my opinion. Merfolk was relatively strong against Breach. It was true. Although, with Opal, it was harder. So before Opal, it was a buy. With Opal, I advantaged, but not nearly as much, because sometimes the Opal still made it too fast. Can I ask why they didn't just ban Thassa's Oracle? You know what, to be honest, I think they would just win some other way. They'd just win with, Thassa's Oracle probably isn't all that important. They could just play a Storm card. In fact, some versions did. They had a Grape Shot just in case, so they would just replace Thassa's Oracle with something else. Okay, breakdown. Even if you cast a removal on the Breach, priority passes, they use the Breach to counter the removal. They proceed to out-advantage you because everything you use is a one-of, not theirs. Well, here's the thing. If they have a counterspell available, then they'll have just protected the thing anyway, if you had any interaction, so they would just win right there. Ban Mox Opal, unban Underworld Breach. I am with you! That is a strange thing to demand. It is not going to happen. As you just see, like, the sentiment around Underworld Breach is so bad. It's just so bad. Now, is it a powerful card? Yes, it's powerful. It's a very powerful card. It's so powerful. It probably still needs to be banned. I don't really believe the baloney, though, that it would eventually get broken. Like, yeah, maybe if they print another 0-mana Mox, maybe that would happen. Like, that Mox Opal was the perfect card to break this, because they could use that card part of its grinding station strategy. Like, that was just the perfect card for this deck. And without Mox Opal, this deck was so much more clunky. Could not win on turn 2 with any reliability. It could, but it was super rare. Draco says, I have not only done this, but I've added done to me. It's very bland deck that allows degenerate win lines and is very unfun to play with or against. The Sons of Mirrodin have shown up perfectly only once. Okay, I think most of us are in agreement. This is too strong, even for 2025. Up the beanstalk. Was this banned super fast? I want to say this didn't exist in Modern all that much. I don't think I played against this card for very long. I think Aspiring Spike broke the crap out of this. The 2-mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, and whenever you cast a spell with mana value 5 or greater, draw a card. And of course, this card was broken very easily with Solitude. It's like, you weren't even losing a card here. Solitude, Fury, I believe Dex played both of them. I hate looking up Fury because there's so many cards called Fury out there. So like it was just 0 mana, pay 1 card to play Fury because you're going to get a rebate. Same thing with Solitude. You're going to get a rebate with Up the Beanstalk. Yeah, it was. I think it was legal for. I don't think it got emergency banned, but maybe it was legal for like 3 months, maybe. Maybe less. I can't remember how frequently they were banning things back then. I think the cadence was faster. It wasn't like I don't remember even playing against this card very much because I think when Wilds of Eldraine came out, I was just not very active in Modern, and I heard about the deck, but I never played against it. Wasn't Beans also in the Time Warp deck? Maybe. I have no doubt that a lot of decks actually tried to beat this thing or try to play this thing. As the Thunder, hey Nikachu, I'm getting ready to attend an in real life draft. Good luck. Get him. Beat him down with Sephiroth. And yet is legal in Historic and Arena. This card somehow, it's actually a really strong card in Legacy. It is a fine-ish card in Pioneer, and actually it's on the chopping block for Standard. I would argue that given what Modern is, this card is still too strong even for today. It's just it's too cheap. You know, honestly, this like pay 2 mana, draw card, draw card, draw card, draw card. I hate everything that draws a card. And that's like really strong at the same time. If you draw a card, the card should be crap. 2 CMC and replaces itself. Pretty damn good in Commander as well. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not going to debate this. Although, there's not much to debate, to be honest. I think the card is only probably going to get... This is the type of card that only gets stronger as time goes on. Oh, boy! Uro! 3 mana, 6/6 Elder Giant. When enter... I don't know if anyone even remembers this card, because it got banned before, like, Paper Magic returned. When it enters the battlefield, sacrifice it unless it escaped. When Uro enters the battlefield or attacks, you gain 3 life and draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Escape for 4 mana. Exile 5 other cards from your graveyard. I want to say if Flage is legal, like, if Flage is a fine card... Like, if this is fine for Modern, this is legal, then I think this thing should be legal. In fact, Control doesn't exist right now, and Control could use this as a means of, like, putting the fire of Flage out to some extent. This card is banned in a lot of formats, though. Banned in Pioneer, banned in Historic. It is a lot of value. It is a lot of value. Gaining 3 life, drawing a card, and ramping all at the same damn time. They had to have all 3. It should have just been 2. There was no reason to put 3 of them on there. Strictly worse growth spiral. It's a very strange perspective. Flage is way better. I actually don't think so. I think Uro is better. I think decks, like for example, Flage was used in Control. I think they would prefer Uro. They want the extra mana. They prefer the life gain because they need to take control of the game. Also, Uro was around when I think Modern Horizons 2 wasn't out yet. Like, Solitude didn't exist. Solitude would be an easy counter to Uro these days. It would still be very strong because you still got the extra card. You got the life. You got the ramp. So you didn't lose anything. And then with Uro on the battlefield, your opponent might be... Like, you'd be... Okay, so, like, if you played Uro and then escaped... Oh, no, someone could Solitude in response. Before it gets sacrificed. I didn't think about that, actually. But if Uro resolves and comes back from the graveyard, you drew 2 cards, you got 2 extra land drops, and you gain 6 life. I don't think that... Solituding it might not be enough. Stormy Cat says, take the card draw away, and this doesn't get banned. This was legal for an entire year. I played against this card for an entire year. You never get just the one Uro trigger. Oh yeah, of course. Uro goes into Uro. And the thing is, like, I mean, Flage is in the same boat, right? It also gains life. The life gain is just so important. I mean, maybe people have something going. Maybe Flage is better in a Control deck, but like Flage is actually... Control is dead. Control is dead in Modern. Like, doesn't exist. There is 0% control. I should maybe 0%. There's some people trying to play Grixis, and they have some success. Especially since they are sort of fringe. That sounds like letting loose the mongooses to kill the snakes. Okay, Uro is fine. I miss Uro. So my decision is if Flage is fine, Uro is fine. If Flage is not fine, then Uro is not fine. I think they're in the same boat. I think they're very, very similar. But I think there are more answers to Uro today than there were in the past. Between not just Solitude, Endurance. I don't know if they were ever legal. I think yeah, I don't think they were legal. I think this got banned before Modern Horizons 2 came out. What was the verdict on Field of the Dead? Too powerful. Still way too strong. Still way too strong. Okay, next we have Vault of Whispers. When it comes up. Did I spell that right? Vault of Whispers, yep. Here, you want me to put the S? The Goat says power creep has been enough to justify allowing Uro. Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's 100% right. You got it. Okay, you don't really want to use a Solitude to answer this, though. You're gonna do what you gotta do, all right? I mean, if you're playing a deck with a lot of card advantage, you don't really care about using a Solitude, especially if like you're yeah, that's basically it. I want to say if you're like some sort of Omnath deck, you will not mind using a Solitude to defeat Uro, so it just never comes back. Vold Whispers. Same as all the other artifact lands. Unban them. They're worthless. Okay, next one. Violent Outburst. 3 mana instant Cascade. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. They banned this so that they could cripple the Crashing Footfalls and the Living End deck. And let me tell you, I think we should unban this card. I cannot think of anything that would put any pressure on the Boros Energy deck. And if they don't want to ban something from the Boros Energy deck, unban this card. I'll tell you why. So there's now even more answers to Cascade spells with Vexing Bauble, but also Crashing Footfalls has even more answers to it because of Wrath the Skies. So just unban this card. Just unban it. We have now more answers to the Cascade Cascade decks, and now they are so weak. They're so weak. They can't play at sorcery speed in this format. Modern Horizons 3, like we unbanned this too. We banned this too early. We just banned it way too early. I think Guided Soul should be banned. Is that a crazy opinion? No, it's not crazy at all. They probably should have banned it instead of Amped Raptor. Anyway, I think well, there was always Void Mirror. Void Mirror always existed, but it's not flexible enough, so no one wants to play it. Michael Ling says, the newer cards are so strong. It blows my mind. You guys can play with these overpowered cards. It's fun. I like to play the powerful. I like to play with the powerful cards. Even though I play with a bunch of weak cards. I like to play with weak cards versus powerful cards. I watched an episode of Card Market where Carl played Turbo Fog Maze's End deck and destroyed Boros Energy. I love it. Love to hear it. And you know what? I once watched someone pull out a standard Maze's End deck versus Splinter Twin, and the Maze's End deck won. It was hilarious. They comboed off Infinite, but they just couldn't do it. Welcome, Stanel. So anyway, Violent Outburst. I think it is a strong card. I don't think it's too strong for Modern. I would be very happy to see this thing unbanned. I think the power level of Modern is just crazy. Also, hold on, there's also Consigned Memory. Consigned Memory also screws over this card. So with the Cascade decks, like borderline unplayable. Borderline unplayable. Like what's left? Okay, where's Living End is there. Very far. We got 2.2% here with Living End. If you unban Violent Outburst, probably goes to 5. Probably goes to 5. And Crashing Footfalls may not come back. Like they're probably in a lot of trouble. Where is it? It's probably gonna go from. Is it just dead? It will be on. I think it would come up. I think it would be a thing. It may not be that big. It won't be like what it used to be. So we banned Violent Outburst a little too quickly. I think this card is now well within the power level of Modern. Footfalls is your favorite deck. Okay, I have a question for you, Stormy Cat. Do you still own the Footfall cards? Just out of curiosity, if that was one of your favorite decks. This is assuming you own it in paper. I'm just curious if like people like still hold on to the banned cards, their banned deck, even though the deck is not so good anymore. You still have it? There we go. Just like the Mox Opal Affinity players, they're waiting for their deck to come back. I think this deck can absolutely come back. Bring back Violent Outburst. Very, very safe for 2025. All right, last but not least. Why was this banned? I don't remember. 5 mana 4/5. Yorion, the Sky Nomad. Companion. The deck has to start with 20 more cards than the normal size. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you own and control. Return those cards to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. Okay, so these decks. So this card was played in dominantly the Omnath deck, and they could blink Fury, but Fury's banned now. We also okay. So this was not free. It's quite a bit of work to get it online, but the deck that it dominated in was an Omnath deck. That was a 4 to 5 color deck. And here's the thing. Harbinger, like, those 4 color decks suck now because of Harbinger of the Seas. And this card is like in every sideboard as a 2 of. It's in Murktide. It's in, where else is it? It's in Murktide. Is it Prowess? Belcher. Maybe Living End? It's in Gora's Vengeance. No, it's not in Living End. But it's in a lot of decks. It's in a lot of decks. So all of a sudden, though, if you want to go for 4 colors to be like super heavy value, like ETB value, I don't know if it works anymore. I just don't know. The One Ring got axed too. Yeah, the One Ring got axed. Was it legal at the same time? Was Yorion legal at the same time as the One Ring? I don't know. So it's not completely free. Also, it waters your deck down. But honestly, I don't think it waters the deck down that much. If I'm remembering correctly, one of the reasons they give for banning Yorion is dexterity problems. It's not that big of a deal. Look, if a commander player can shuffle their entire 99 card deck, I think competitive players can shuffle an 80 card deck. And frankly, I do shuffle my commander deck. Not very good, but I can shuffle an 80 card deck very well. Read why they banned it. They didn't like big decks. Is that the whole reason? That's a stupid reason. Yorion is stupid in general. Companion was a very unwanted mechanic that simply broke too many things. Luris and Vintage and Legacy come to mind. But this card didn't really break that much. Like, look how banned it is. It's not. It's super legal in Pioneer. It's not very good. Super legal in Legacy. It's fine, actually. It's like a good power level in Legacy. It was just the most broken in Modern. So you can't, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. The reason for why they ban cards is garbage. It's just nonsense. Because if it was true that it was all about 80 card dexterity, then they would just automatically ban this card in every format. Just ban in Pioneer, ban in Modern, ban in Legacy. The answer is the card was a bit too good in Omnath, and I think a few other strategies. It was like the next Luris after Luris got banned, and they just wanted to get rid of the companion, and they did it. And that's the reason. We have competitive EDH2. That's right, you do. Looks like they just banned all the companions. Well, they're working one at a time. I got killed by a main deck Yorion in Pioneer once. It had to do a double attack. David says, took too long to shuffle during tournament play. What? Pioneer and Legacy aren't tournaments? Anyway, I've read the BNRs over many years, over a decade, and there's a lot of, okay, we're banning this card because like the public doesn't like it. Here's a bunch of BS reasons to support that case. If, like I said, if it was honestly such an issue, shuffling during tournaments, they would have banned it in Pioneer and Legacy. But that's not the real reason. Yorion is an okay card in general. It's just the companion is a silly restriction that actually made the deck better. Oh yeah, well, I mean, you're playing with an extra card. Like, who doesn't want to play with a 5-mana 4/5 flyer that can blink your permanents and get extra value, right? Who wouldn't want that? Anyone would want that. Okay, I'm gonna say it's fine in Modern. It's not broken. The decks that it was played in, they don't even exist anymore. I'm not gonna say to unban it, but I don't think it's as powerful as it was. And if it was a dexterity issue, then that has nothing to do with the power level of the card at all. All right, that's it for today. Hope you all like this. I guess we'll have a banned Modern tier list, I suppose. Hope everyone enjoyed the series. Let me know in the comment section below. As usual, we do the show 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. Be there or be square. And as usual, thanks to everyone who supports the show. If you're a patron on Patreon, a member on YouTube, or you super chat to be part of the show, or even super chat so other people are part of the show. And of course, thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. I love your input from the ghost of Thomas Jenkins, Draco. We've got David, Pabno. Oh, Akaya came in at the end here. Stanel, Benjamin Berkey, Lil Deadfly, Bob Talks Bridge. Thomas the Turtle. Is it Thomas the Turtle? It's Thomas the Turtle with a Nintendo Switch. Paul Rogg, David Sampson, Cameron, Bell, and many more. So as usual, my coffee crew, keep brewing those coffees, and we're going to keep brewing up the magic. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you at the next cup.